Hey, welcome back to the channel, my fellow weather junkies. I'm your host, meteorologist Greg Majeski, your trusted weather source, bringing you the weather without all that social media hype, here on your Tuesday, February 25th, 2025. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we're tracking here for this update as we're looking at a couple of snow shot potentials across the Northeast. We'll show you the latest on that, along with a couple of cold shots coming down as well. We are tracking a couple of potential severe weather events as we go into March. We'll bring you the latest on that. And we'll also give you the latest from the Climate Center. We'll look at the climate outlook as there appears to be just a little bit of a disconnect between what the latest European model is showing and what the Climate Prediction Center is showing. So we'll get into that as well. Now, before we get going, first, I do want to say thank you to our new subscribers. And if you're that 60% out there who've not yet subscribed to the channel, please do us the pleasure, do us the honor. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button in that lower right-hand corner there and hit that notification bell so you're alerted on future content. Leave me a comment down below. Give me a thumbs up. It does help with that almighty YouTube algorithm. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the big picture here across the nation. We have some rains moving into the northeast, saying goodbye to the rains across South Florida. That's moving on out to sea. A delightful day here across the south. It's going to be very, very nice indeed with some mild temperatures. A little unsettled weather up here into the Intermountain region and into the northwest portion of the United States. We actually had a tornado warning, a few of them, in Oregon yesterday. Very unusual to see that, that's for sure. And here's our next system well on out in the Pacific right now. Looking at the big picture across the nation, again, fog down here. That's that gray down there from Mississippi back over toward Texas. Windy conditions, some winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings up here across the northwest. But really, that's about it for a big portion of the country. Pretty quiet. So looking at our surface map, again, we got the rains here tracking across areas moving into New York State. Not snow for this particular event, but we do have some snows coming this way. Very mild here across the south. In fact, big portion of the country seeing above normal temperatures here after last week's Arctic outbreak, that's for sure. And again, unsettled here into the areas of the northwest. In fact, we're going up here toward areas up near Vancouver and heading up into Washington State. Longview, seeing the rains up in here. Again, we actually had tornado warnings down here yesterday. So unusual to see that. Not expecting that for today. Weather should be a little bit, should subside a little bit here for today for this part of the country. All right, let's go ahead and talk about our thunderstorm threat. Where are we going to be seeing that? Well, today, not going to have to worry about that, at least not for today. Tomorrow, different story. We do have a chance for some thunderstorms. That's the only day we're tracking here across areas of the Ohio River Valley, stretching back over here toward Texas. But that's about it. Not expecting any severe weather this week. That'll be a different story heading into next week. And we're also not expecting any excessive rainfall here over the next 3 days. So not looking too bad for big portions of the country. So let's go ahead and just dive right into the latest model data here. We're going to first start off by taking a look at the jet stream. That's that river air that kind of drives the weather across the country here. And its configuration really dictates how the weather is going to be here across the nation. Right now, we got a pretty, what we call kind of a Pacific flow, kind of a zonal flow here. All the cold air is kind of locked up here into Canada. And definitely going to see much milder temperatures across a big portion of the country, at least for the time being for this week. But as we go into this upcoming week, we got a couple things we're going to be watching here. We're kind of watching a little bit of this energy coming in here off the Pacific coast here. This is the first one. There's actually two of them that are going to be coming on in here going into next week. This one kind of rolls on into Southern California, into the Southwest, and it kind of just absorbs some of the other one. And then we got another one back behind that one that's going to roll on as we head toward the 3rd of March. So as this one begins to move on out and rolls on in, look at that jet stream. Really takes a nice little configuration, nice little jet dive right here. So we got the low sitting right in here. So going in toward Tuesday, we're going to be looking at some sort of squall line that's going to form in there going in toward next week. The model's been pretty consistent with this now, showing this development. So this will be some sort of low that'll form there. And it looks like we'll see a squall line that'll kind of track right across the southeast as we go into the 4th and 5th. So those are the 2 days that I'm watching for the potential for severe weather. That's round number 1. And this moves on off toward the east. And then we see, again, a configuration where we see a nice little dive in the jet stream going into toward the 9th. So you see a ridging out here in the west in this. So this looks like a cold shot coming down here as we head toward the 9th of March. And with that system moving on to the east there into the 9th, there may be another chance of severe weather along the Gulf Coast we'll have to watch in there with that second system. So again, a couple days to watch this as we go on through this week. This moves on up. But look how amplified this jet stream is here, folks. I mean, I really, again, I start seeing something like this. If this continues into March, boy, I'm telling you, severe weather threats are just going to be definitely a possibility. That's for sure. if that amplified pattern continues there. The next system moves on in as we go in toward the 12th. So again, you got a very active jet here, warming here in the east and colder out here in the west as we go toward the 11th of March. So let's go ahead and look at the high resolution model. We're going to look at the short range stuff, and really not looking that bad. We got a little rain here across, obviously, the northeast. We got stuff out here in the northwest, and we're saying goodbye to this rain out here off the Florida coast. So let's go ahead and watch that timestamp in the upper right-hand corners. I take you on through this. Again, we got that rain there across the northeast. We got some rain here in the middle of the country. Very fast flow here across the northern tier. So these little systems are going to be racing at a pretty good rate of speed here. As you see, the rains there kind of move out of the plains and into the Great Lakes as we go into your Wednesday morning. So that moves in across areas of Michigan. It looks like it's cold enough there, maybe even some snow in there as we go toward 10 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. And then this will track right into the northeast, bringing in some rain. And again, remember, we got that few rumbles of thunder along that frontal system going in late in the day on Wednesday, going into Thursday morning. So that's what we're seeing right there in the short term. Now let's go ahead and track this system beyond this. Again, this will be the European model here. Again, we've got some cold air coming in across the Great Lakes. We're going to bring in a couple of snow chances here across New England as we got some colder shots coming down. So this is the first one kind of moving in across the northeast. You see the snows kind of wrapping in air across areas of New England. That's number one. Here's number two back behind it. This is number two. This is going to dive down this way, and it's going to reinforce that cold air across the northeast and bring in another chance of snow. So here's the next round going in there. And we'll see temperatures kind of cool off here across the southeast as that 540 freezing line dives down here going in toward the 1st and 2nd. Going into that Sunday, we'll definitely see some cooler temperatures across the southeast briefly. And then we'll see things begin to warm back up. Then we're going to turn our attention back here to this system out here on the west coast. This is the one that's going to swing out here into Texas, and that's the one that we got to watch out for that potential squall line to develop here as we go in toward the 4th. So here's storm starting to fire up here going into your Tuesday morning, and this will sweep in across the southeast, going across Louisiana, Mississippi throughout the day on Tuesday, and going into Wednesday morning, sweeping in across Alabama and Georgia as that moves on through. So that's the area I'm going to be watching there from Texas across the southeast. That'll be needs to watch for severe weather for this particular event here on the 4th and 5th. Now this moves on out. We'll see some snows there across areas of the Great Lakes. This moves on out. We got a little cold shot here coming in behind this. So you notice by the 6th, we've got this nice little dive of some cold air here across the eastern third of the United States. This will be a hit and run. It'll move on off here pretty quickly as it starts to move on off a little bit. Then we got this next round we have to watch. See, you got this other system here. I think this will be kind of, if this happens, there'll be a Gulf Coast severe wet to watch for that one going in toward the 8th of March on that one, the 7th and 8th. And this moves on off quickly. And in its wake, we bring in the cold air all the way down here to the Gulf Coast. We got another cold shot here across the eastern third. It'll be milder again out here in the west going in toward the 9th of March. And then this moves on out quickly. Again, that moves on, retreats. Look where the freezing line is. Goes way back up here again. And then we start to bring the cold air across the west here as we go toward the 12th. So we start to flip it a little bit here at the end of the run. So let's go ahead and talk about that thunderstorm threat. I want to break this down. Here is the K-index, okay? So the K-index is kind of a different parameters, kind of measuring where the thunderstorms are going to develop here. Again, we're going to watch this squall line right in here. This is going in toward Tuesday morning. So again, watch the time there as we go. This is Tuesday morning on the 4th. A pretty good squall line here. You can see a very dark color in there. So again, looking at potential severe on this going on Tuesday. And this will track in across Louisiana and Mississippi. That's where I'm thinking we'll get our severe weather going into Alabama, going in late in the day on your Wednesday, and going along the Gulf Coast. And then this moves on out to sea. That's number one. And then this next one behind it, this one doesn't look nearly as bad, but it looks like this will be predominantly kind of a Gulf Coast type thing to watch on this one. But again, this is ways out. This is beyond 7-8 days. So this is subject to change if the track changes on this one. This one I'm pretty confident on this one because this one's about 7-8 days out. I think we've got a pretty good lock that we got something that's going to track in across the south central states and into the southeast going into the 4th and 5th. So that's the one that we really got to pay attention to. All right, let's go ahead and break this down precipitation-wise. The next 3 days, we'll go out for 72 hours here. Again, we've still got some decent rains here across the northwest. A little bit of rain here across areas of the northeast, but not a whole lot of it. Looking not too bad here for the next 3 days. Going out for 10 days, we'll go out to 240 here. See a little more activity. Obviously, things start to pick up here with the flow. Notice a lot of the country start to get some rain here as the flow gets a little more progressive with these storm systems as they move from west to east. And we're going to take us out to 360 here all the way at the end of its run. And clearly see the rain picking up here across the eastern third of the United States. Even getting into California. California starts to get into some rain as well. Even getting into Southern California here over the next couple of weeks. Let's go ahead and break down the snow potential here. Let's look at that as well. Go up for the next 3 days. We'll kind of take you here right in through about Thursday. So we'll take you right into Thursday morning here. Again, going into late in the day on Thursday. Not a whole lot. Just here across the northwest. A couple of these minor shots with some snows here across areas of New England. There is a snowstorm that's going to be blowing this way beyond the 3-day. That'll be coming into the northeast. So you'll see a lot more going beyond that. So here it comes, boom, coming right out of Canada. We'll enhance that snows across the northeast once again. And we'll take us out to 240 here. And you see the snows here across, again, just a lot of here in southern Canada coming in across the Great Lakes. We start filling in some more across the areas of the Intermountain region. And beyond the 10-day, now this I don't know about. This one is obviously, going day 13, 14. I don't know about that right there, being that far south of the snow event. But we'll see if that shows up in future runs. But obviously, anything beyond about 7 days, you're kind of just doing a speculation there. But that's what it's showing right now here for the next couple of weeks. So we'll see how that comes true or not. It really depends on those cold shots that are coming down. So let's go and look at the cold air. Let's track this. Again, look at this. This is your Tuesday. Look how much of the country here. Boy, this is nice. Warmer. Yes, definitely seeing warmer temperatures here across a big portion of the country here on your Tuesday. But we do have some cold air we got to track, so keep that in mind here. So let's go ahead and put this into motion for this upcoming week. We got that one shot coming into the northeast going into Friday. So we got our initial cool down here. Now we have to watch, not looking bad there. And then there's one back behind that going into Sunday. Here's the next one. Boom. This one is a little bit stronger going into Sunday. So the eastern third, even getting into the southeast, we'll see a cool down here across the Midwest, the Northeast. Still staying relatively milder out here toward the West Coast here, going toward the 2nd of March. Now, as we go forward in time here, we move that on out. We get a warm up here. Now, this is where we get the clash of the air masses here. This is going into the 4th and 5th. Again, we're going to watch that firing zone there with that potential severe weather with that system there going into the 4th and 5th. So as that cold air slams into that warmer air, we're going to fire up some thunderstorms going into the 4th and 5th. And then this cold air kind of dumps going into the 6th. So look how much of the country here is showing below normal temperatures here. Now, when I show you the climate outlook, you're going to understand why we have a little bit of a disagreement there. It may be because this is just a quick hit and run. This moves in for the 6th, the 7th, and kind of stays in right to the 8th and 9th. So we're going to have to see what the afternoon run shows on the European, because the Climate Center has it warm for a lot of the country here going out to the 10th to the 14th, days 10 through 14 here. So this is looking below normal here through the 9th. And this quickly moves on out. So we can see the big warm up here. Look at this big, huge warm up here in the high plains going to the 11th as we get the cold air out here in the west. Again, we're seeing that pattern evolve where we're getting these big dips and ridges developing in the jet stream. And when you get those clashes, that's where we worry about severe weather. So again, this is kind of going out toward the 11th where we see a big part of the country does warm up, except for out here on the west coast where we see below normal temperatures out here. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. Look at the Climate Prediction Center. This is where we have a little bit of disagreement here. We'll see if this changes today. It really kind of depends on what the afternoon runs look like. Again, we're looking at model consistency. So 6 through 10, I'm okay with this. The 2nd through 6th, a little below across the northeast here on the west coast. And then this is the one here going from the 4th to the 10th, whether this is going to be true or not, because the European model is saying something completely different. So it really kind of depends on model continuity. If the European model, again, shows that cold air again on this afternoon's run, maybe this map changes a little bit. Now, we are expecting that cold weather out here on the west on the tail of that run. We saw that coming in out here. So again, it really depends on what is the average from the 8 days 8 through 14. Even though there might be a cold shot that lasts a day or two, but if the overall trend is warmer, they'll take the average. So that's what's going on here. Precipitation-wise, clearly, as we go in from the 2nd to the 6th, this last week of February was kind of going to be a little bit on the dry side, but we get a little more progressive pattern here across the nation going from the 2nd to the 6th. And that kind of continues here from the 4th to the 10th, except for down here toward Texas, above normal precipitation out here into California, and definitely across the eastern third of the United States. So things are going to get interesting, my friends, as we're going to get deeper into the month of March. Again, we're going to get those clashes, those air masses, and the potential for severe weather. Right now, growing confidence, I would say, put it at about a medium medium confidence right now that we're going to get some sort of severe weather going into the 4th and 5th of next week. The one after that, we'll wait and see. But for right now, we're tracking 2 potential severe weather here going into the month of March. And again, we're going into that time of year. We're transitioning into spring. And when you get to clash those air masses, and depending on the configuration of that jet stream, can make all the difference in the world and what kind of severe weather you're going to see in your area. And by the way, if you have not got one of these, get ready for severe weather, folks. I highly recommend getting one of these. I'll go ahead and put the link down in the comment section there. If you want to get one of these, you can get them off Amazon. Good thing to have, especially for severe weather season, in case you have any alerts and things like that. And also one of our new sponsors coming on board for me called Weather Call. Yeah, that's a good service to have as well. All right, that is y'all's update for now. You guys take it easy, be good, stay safe, and we'll see you on the next update. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed, do it now. All right, you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.